Hello everyone, my name is Viyaan Chaudhry. I'm a student of Guruji Pandit Sanjay Rath. Today I'm going to give you a Jyotish insight into why Priyanka Chopra moved to the United States. So let us get started. This is the chart of Priyanka Chopra. Now before delving specifically into why she moved to the US, let me do a short analysis of her chart. The Lagna in the Rashi chart is Aries and Jupiter is in Libra. Jupiter in Libra is the first thing that came to my attention in this chart. Raja Kalyan Varma, a king in the 10th century of Vyagharpada, which is an area in today's Madhya Pradesh, was a brilliant Jyotish scholar who also wrote a book on Jyotish titled Saravali. And in Saravali, Raja Kalyan Varma stated that if Jupiter is in Libra at the time of a person's birth, then such a person will earn from dance and drama. Dilip Kumar, Ranbir Kapoor, Sanjay Dutt, and many other actors have Jupiter in Libra. This Jupiter in Libra is also in the 9th house from Priyanka Chopra's Arudha Lagna in Aquarius. Planets in the 9th house from Arudha Lagna protect the native, give him good fortune, and also help in accruing monetary gains for the native. Now the Amatya Kāraka in this chart, that is the planet having second highest degrees which determines our profession, is Saturn. And this Amatya Saturn is in a sign ruled by Mercury and Rahu. And in this chart, Saturn's 10th house aspect, which is called its Karma Drishti, which indicates the area where a person would be putting in his hard work, is on Gemini, which rules arts and creativity, and Gemini is having Mercury, which rules the skill to act, Venus, which rules the entertainment industry, and Rahu, which is another significator for movie industry as it rules illusion. So as per the special 10th house aspect of Saturn, all her hard work and labor was directed towards acting and entertainment. Now whenever the Atmakaraka and Amatya Karaka are either conjoined or in quadrants or in trines to each other, it is a Raj Yoga for a successful career. Priyanka's Atmakarak Mars and Amatyakarak Saturn are in conjunction. These two malefics in the 6th house are also fantastic for material success. And Saturn is especially best placed in the 6th house, as from the 6th house, Saturn's 3rd house aspect will fall on the 8th house, thereby destroying all your debts and misfortune. Saturn's 7th house aspect on the 12th house will destroy all your secret enemies, and Saturn's 10th house aspect on the 3rd house will destroy the career of your competitors, thereby promoting your career. See, Saturn's aspects or drishtis are justifiably feared by people because they are destructive in nature. But when Saturn is placed in the 6th house, its destructive aspects fall on all the bad houses, thereby destroying all the bad that they signify, and hence when all the bad is destroyed, the good comes of it. Therefore, when Saturn is placed in the 6th house, its aspect, that is drishti, becomes Amrita drishti. And Saturn being placed in the 6th house will also give sorrow to your enemies and competitors because they will be defeated by you when you enter into any kind of a competition. Now let me give you a very basic information on the 8 charakarakas we have. Charakaraka refers to the temporary signification held by the planets by virtue of their longitude or degrees. So the planet having the highest degrees in your chart is the Atmakarak, which is not only the significator of your soul, but it also represents the maximum sins you have committed in your past lives for which you have to suffer in this life. This is why the dashas of the Atmakarak always bring a lot of suffering, as it is just a punishment for our own sins from the past lives. Higher the degree of the Atmakarak, higher the sins and karmic debts your soul is carrying. Now the planet with the second highest degrees is the Amatyakarak, which determines our profession. The planet with the third highest degrees is the Bhratrakarak, which signifies our siblings and our guru. The planet with the fourth highest degrees is the Matrakarak, which signifies our mother and home. The planet with the 5th highest degrees is the Pitrakarak, which signifies our father and forefathers. The planet with the 6th highest degrees is the Putrakarak, which signifies our children and students. The planet with the 7th highest degrees is the Gyatikarak, which signifies our relatives, colleagues and society. The planet with the lowest degrees is called the Darakarak, which signifies our spouse, business and wealth. Now I gave this information on the charakarakas because the reason Priyanka Chopra shifted to the US is because there is a charakarak replacement in her chart. Charakarak replacement happens when two planets are in the same degree, where the planet with lower minutes replaces the planet with higher minutes and takes over its charakarakatva. Let me explain this with an example before I explain the same from Priyanka Chopra's chart. In this list of planets belonging to a particular chart, we can see that Saturn is in 25 degrees and 27 minutes of Scorpio and Jupiter is in 25 degrees and 15 minutes of Pisces. So both Saturn and Jupiter are in the same degree. Saturn having the highest degrees is the Atmakarak, closely followed by Jupiter being the Amatyakarak, as it has lower minutes compared to Saturn. Now because Jupiter is sharing the same degree with Saturn but having lower minutes, there will come a time in this person's life when Jupiter will kick Saturn out and become the new Atmakarak. And this is exactly what Charakaraka replacement is. And whenever two planets are sharing the same degree, it is not necessary that they have to be in the same house. They can be separately placed in any house, and if they share the same degree, Charakaraka replacement will happen. And this Charakaraka replacement between two planets will generally happen during the age of maturity of both the planets involved. So if the planets involved in Charakaraka replacement are Jupiter and Saturn, then the replacement will start when the person reaches the age of 32, as 32 is the maturity age of Jupiter, and the replacement will be complete by the time the person turns 36, as 36 is the maturity age for Saturn. With this example, let me now talk about the Charakaraka replacement in Priyanka Chopra's chart. So in Priyanka Chopra's chart, there is a Charakaraka replacement between Amatyakarak Saturn and Bhratrakarak Mercury, as Saturn is in 22 degrees 36 minutes and Mercury is in 22 degrees 28 minutes. That is, both Saturn and Mercury are in the same degrees, and because Mercury is having lower minutes compared to Saturn, therefore, between the period of 30 years to 36 years, Mercury will replace Saturn and become the new Amatyakarak, taking charge over the professional sphere of Priyanka's life. See, Charakarak replacement brings with itself a major change in life which does not generally happen with ease, as one planet with higher minutes is literally getting kicked out of its Charakarakatva and another planet with lower minutes is taking over that role. Generally, this can be a very painful or challenging transition, and whichever Charakaraka is getting replaced, a major turbulence usually occurs in that area of life. For example, in Priyanka's case, because it was the Amatyakarak Saturn which got replaced, it was her professional life which went under a major transition. Instead, if the Atmakarak is getting replaced by the Amatyakarak, a Karma Yogi rises who sacrifices his self, that is his Atmakarak, for the achievement of some career objective, which is the Amatyakarak replacing such Atmakarak. If the Matrakarak or Pitrakarak are involved in the replacement, then something related to parents will be the cause of suffering. Involvement of the Putrakarak or Darakarak can show some challenging experiences related to children, students, or those who are loved by the native. Now coming back to Priyanka's chart, it was exactly between this period of 30 to 36 years that Priyanka settled in the US. But why US? Mercury and Gemini both rule the United States, and if Mercury is placed in Gemini, then it is a specific combination representing the United States. So the new Amatyakarak Mercury led her to the US for her profession. And what exactly happened which triggered this replacement? In an interview, Priyanka had stated that she was being pushed into a corner in the Hindi film industry and that she had people not casting her for reasons that she had some beef or dispute with some people. Now, I would only like to give a small hint in this video that we should observe the houses occupied by the planets involved in Charakarak replacement, and in Priyanka's chart, as the initial Amatyakarak Saturn is in the 6th house which deals with disputes and enmity, it was this dispute and enmity with some people which triggered this Charakarak replacement in her chart. There is much more to Charakarak replacement, and I'll probably talk about it in some other video. I would end this lecture by just mentioning about her marriage to Nick Jonas, that in her Navamshi chart, Mercury is in the 7th house, which shows the spouse will be much younger than the native, and Nick also approached Priyanka in the Antardasha of Mercury itself. So this was my lecture on Charakarak replacement, which led Priyanka to shift base to the United States. If you like this lecture, you may give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of such lectures, you may subscribe to my channel, and for consultations, you may visit my website www.viyaanastrologist.com. Thank you.